Have you ever looked back and thought, that was my chance and I missed it? Maybe someone offered you an opportunity, but you weren't prepared. Maybe the right person walked into your life at the wrong time. Or maybe you were so busy waiting for the perfect moment that you didn't recognize the real moment when it arrived. Here's the truth. Most people learn too late. Opportunity doesn't send a calendar invite. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up unexpected, unplanned, and unforgiving to those who aren't ready. But there are some people, rare people, who are always ready. And when opportunity knocks just once, they open the door and step into a completely different life. This is the story of one of those people. Stay with me until the end. In a large city filled with dreamers and strivers, there stood an upscale restaurant called the Sterling Oak. It was the kind of place where business deals were made, where celebrities dined quietly in corner booths, where one meal could cost more than some people earned in a week. And in this restaurant worked a 32-year-old waiter named Daniel. Daniel had been a waiter for 8 years, not because he loved serving food, but because he needed to pay bills while he pursued his real dream, becoming a business consultant. He had a degree. He had taken courses. He had prepared presentations that no one had ever seen. But he had no connections, no big break, no lucky chance. Most waiters in the restaurant treated the job as temporary, something to tolerate until real life began. They showed up late, complained about customers, did the bare minimum. But Daniel was different. Every shift, Daniel wore his uniform like armor, perfectly pressed, shoes polished, name tag straight. He studied the menu like scripture. He knew every ingredient, every wine pairing, every story behind each dish. His colleagues laughed. "Why do you try so hard?" they asked. "It's just a waiter job. No one important is watching." Daniel would smile and say, "You never know who's watching. You never know when today might matter." The truth was, Daniel had a philosophy he had learned from his late grandfather, a man who had built a successful business from nothing. The luckiest people in the world aren't lucky. They're ready. When opportunity comes, it doesn't wait for you to prepare. It only visits those who are already prepared. So Daniel prepared every single day. He read business books on his breaks. He practiced his speaking skills in the mirror. He kept his consulting portfolio updated on his phone, even though months passed without anyone asking to see it. Some nights, exhausted after a double shift, his roommate would ask, "Why do you keep studying? Why do you keep preparing? Nothing's happening." And Daniel would reply quietly, "Not yet, but when it does happen, I'll be ready." The city moved around him. Opportunities went to others. People with connections, people with luck, people who were in the right place at the right time. But Daniel kept preparing, waiting, ready. One Friday evening in November, the restaurant was particularly busy. Every table was full. The kitchen was running behind. 3 waiters had called in sick. The staff was overwhelmed, stressed, barely keeping up. Daniel was covering twice his normal section, moving between tables with practiced efficiency, never showing the pressure he felt. At 8:47 p.m., the restaurant manager rushed over to him, slightly panicked. "Daniel, I need you to take table 12. VIP just walked in. Robert Chen, CEO of Titan Consulting Group. His regular waiter is sick. Please, just don't mess this up." Daniel's heart skipped. He knew that name. Titan Consulting Group was one of the largest business consulting firms in the country. Robert Chen was a legend, the man who had built a billion-dollar company from scratch, who was known for spotting talent in unexpected places. This was not just a table. This was opportunity. Walking through the door unannounced. For a split second, Daniel felt fear. What if I say something wrong? What if I'm not good enough? What if this is my one chance and I blow it? But then he remembered. I've been preparing for this moment my entire life. I just didn't know it would look like this. He straightened his tie, took a breath, and walked to table 12. Robert Chen sat alone, reviewing documents on his tablet, his expression tired. He had the look of a man who had attended too many meetings, eaten too many business dinners, heard too many sales pitches. Daniel approached with genuine warmth, not nervousness. "Good evening, Mr. Chen. Welcome to the Sterling Oak. My name is Daniel, and I'll be taking care of you this evening." Robert glanced up, gave a polite but uninterested nod. Daniel didn't push. He didn't try to impress. He simply did what he had always done, served with excellence. When Robert asked about the salmon, Daniel didn't just recite the menu description. He explained the fish's origin, the chef's preparation method, suggested a wine pairing with specific notes that would complement the dish, and mentioned that if Mr. Chen preferred something lighter, the sea bass had been exceptional that evening. Robert paused, looked up, really looked at Daniel for the first time. "You know your menu. I believe in knowing my work, sir, no matter what that work is." Throughout the meal, Robert asked questions, some about food, some that seemed like tests. Daniel answered each with knowledge, confidence, and humility. Then, as dessert was being cleared, Robert said something unexpected. "Tell me, Daniel, what do you do when you're not serving wine?" This was the moment Daniel had prepared for without knowing it would come. He didn't fumble. He didn't apologize for being just a waiter. He didn't diminish himself. Instead, he said simply, "I study business consulting, Mr. Chen. I have a degree in business management. I've taken advanced courses in organizational strategy, and I maintain an active portfolio of case study analyses. I work here because I'm still building connections and waiting for the right opportunity. But I spend every spare moment preparing for the day that opportunity arrives." Robert studied him for a long moment. Most people wait for opportunity to arrive before they start preparing. By then, it's too late. But you're doing it backward. You're preparing while you wait. That's rare. He leaned back, coffee in hand. "Let me tell you something I learned 30 years ago, when I was exactly where you are now." Robert reached into his briefcase and pulled out a small notebook, worn, dog-eared, clearly carried for years. "See this?" he said, tapping the notebook. "This is my idea book. I've carried it for 3 decades. Most pages are filled with thoughts I had while waiting for meetings, waiting for flights, waiting for my life to start." He opened to a marked page. "This entry, right here, I wrote when I was 28 years old, working as a junior analyst, feeling stuck. I wrote, 'Opportunity is like rain. You can't make it come. You can't control when it falls. But you can make sure that when it does fall, you're standing there with a bucket, not an umbrella.'" Daniel, most people walk through life with umbrellas, protecting themselves from anything unexpected. They want comfort, routine, predictability. So when opportunity rains down, they block it out and complain about getting wet. But the people who succeed, They stand in the rain with open arms and empty buckets. They're ready to catch every drop, even when it comes at inconvenient times, even when it looks different than they expected. He paused, let the metaphor sink in. You're standing here at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, exhausted from a double shift, and instead of rushing me out so you can go home, you're treating this conversation like it matters, because you know something most people never learn. Every moment is an interview for the next opportunity. Daniel felt something click into place. All those nights studying when he was tired, all those extra efforts when no one was watching, all that preparation when nothing was happening. It wasn't wasted, it was the bucket, and right now, it was raining. Robert closed his notebook and looked Daniel directly in the eyes. My company is opening a new division. We need someone who understands service excellence, who can analyze systems, who knows how to work with high-stakes clients, someone who's been preparing even when there was no guarantee it would pay off. He slid a business card across the table. Come to my office Monday at 9 a.m. Bring your portfolio. Let's see if your preparation matches your attitude. Daniel took the card with steady hands, even though everything inside him was trembling. Thank you, Mr. Chen. I'll be there. Robert stood to leave, then turned back one more time. Daniel? There were 5 other waiters in this restaurant tonight. Any of them could have served me. But only you were ready when the moment came. Remember that? And he walked out. That night, Daniel walked home in a daze. His roommate found him at the kitchen table at 2 a.m., portfolio spread out, practicing his presentation. Did something happen? His roommate asked. Daniel looked up, eyes bright. Opportunity knocked, and I was ready. That weekend, Daniel didn't celebrate. He prepared. He reviewed every case study in his portfolio. He researched Titan Consulting Group's recent projects. He practiced his interview responses. He pressed his best suit. He prepared like his life depended on it, because it did. Monday at 8:45 a.m., Daniel stood outside Titan Consulting Group's headquarters. He was early, he was prepared, he was ready. The interview lasted 2 hours. Robert Chen asked difficult questions. Daniel answered with the knowledge he had been accumulating for years. Knowledge most people thought was wasted on a waiter. But it wasn't wasted. It was invested. At the end of the interview, Robert said 5 words that changed Daniel's life. When can you start working? 3 weeks later, Daniel wore a different uniform. Business suit, company badge, consultant title. 6 months later, he led his first major project. 1 year later, he was promoted to senior consultant. 2 years later, he was speaking at business conferences, teaching others about operational excellence. At a company event, a colleague asked him, "How did you get so lucky? How did you get discovered by Robert Chen himself?" Daniel smiled, remembering that November night. "I wasn't lucky," he said quietly. "I was ready, and when opportunity knocked just once, I opened the door." My friend, Daniel's story is not about luck. It's about the philosophy that changed his life and can change yours. Right now, at this very moment, you might be waiting for your big break, waiting for someone to notice you, waiting for life to finally begin. But here's what Daniel learned, and what I want you to understand. Opportunity doesn't arrive when you're ready. It arrives when it's ready. The only question is, will you be ready when it comes? Remember 3 truths. First, every moment is preparation for the next opportunity. The way you do small things today is training for how you'll handle big things tomorrow. That meaningless job, it's teaching you skills you'll need later. That task no one sees, someone will notice eventually. Excellence in obscurity creates readiness for visibility. Second, opportunity looks nothing like you expect. You think your big break will be obvious, a phone call, an announcement, a clear sign. But Daniel's opportunity looked like a tired businessman on a Friday night. It looked ordinary. Most people miss their opportunities because they're waiting for something that looks more important. Third, the difference between lucky people and unlucky people is preparation. Lucky people aren't blessed by fate. They're people who stayed ready when others got comfortable. They studied when others watched TV. They practiced when others complained. They prepared when others said, "What's the point?" So here's your question to answer. When opportunity rains down on your life, and it will, usually when you least expect it, will you be standing there with an umbrella, blocking it out? Or will you be standing there with an empty bucket, ready to catch every drop? Starting today, I want you to do 3 things. 1. Choose one skill that would matter in your dream opportunity. Spend 30 minutes today learning it, even if no one's watching, even if it seems pointless. 2. Prepare your portfolio, whatever that means for your field. Update your resume, practice your pitch, organize your work, so when someone asks, "Show me what you can do," you don't have to say, "Give me a week to prepare." 3. Treat every moment like it might be the moment. That random conversation, that regular Tuesday, that person you almost ignored. Any of them could be opportunity in disguise. Because here's the truth Daniel learned, standing in that restaurant with a business card in his hand. The world rewards people who are ready before they need to be. You can't control when opportunity comes. You can't force it to arrive, but you can control whether you're ready when it does, and that makes all the difference. If this story reminded you to stop waiting and start preparing, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me, what's the one skill you're going to prepare today, even though your opportunity hasn't arrived yet? Let's become people who are always ready. Until next time, remember, opportunity doesn't wait for you to be ready. So, be ready before opportunity comes. Your bucket is in your hands. Stand in the rain.